from black. We're back. Like a massive attack or something like that. I presume. Wow! I've got far too much volume.
Is the massive attack while you're in your? There's a bunker like quality to your background today.
Well, it is Weegamers and the bunker. You know, lockdown has been the perfect opportunity to refine that bunker concept to fruition.
You've got like a real Two-Face thing going on there. One side of it, lovely and green with the other bits, and the other two, Peter and John.
Literal. Well, we done the big charity build for the Crooked Dice bunker, obviously.
Yeah.
So as I've been working on painting it, I thought, why don't I just make my home one giant Crooked Dice bunker?
Is it taking a while with the small brush though?
It is taking a ridiculous period of time, and every so often I stand on my minions because they're still only 28 mil tall.
Need a little scaffolding for them so they can get up into the corners, do the cutting in.
Well, the idea is eventually on the walls, like I'll build gantries and things.
Nice.
Because you have to have gantries around your giant nuclear missile.
I have been speaking to a man about gantries just this week.
Of course you have.
Nice little double height room for the secret base.
A double height room?
Double height room with a little gantry in it because I've got loads of bits coming out that are a bit bigger. So I want separate rooms to put them in and a double height one with a gantry thing in there. So
get you and your double height gantries.
Have you had a lovely Christmas and New Year though?
Have I had a lovely Christmas and a New Year? I can't say I didn't. It would be a lie to say I did. It would be a lie to say it was normal. I mean, literally, I dress as the Doctor now because I needed some form of artificial personality to keep me sane.
You've got 12 or 13 to pick from.
I'm not sure it worked.
Be a different one every day. It's a new form of personality disorder.
It is.
You've got lots of friends.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And it's fine for 13 days. 26 if you count costume changes.
Could you do? Well, you'd be Peter Cushing in there at one stage. You could mix it up a bit.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, I mean, I think for certainly for cosplay, because funnily enough, this as you can tell, this has been a topic of conversation. But I think. Oh yeah, but I think part of cosplay and Doctor Who, it isn't necessarily about getting the costume right. When you look at what they were, there was a theme. There was a kind of general mood, and you can get away with things that aren't necessarily actual costumes, but still convey the flavour. And those things are easier to slip into your day-to-day wardrobe. More easy than this.
No, I think you could wear that about town and wouldn't bat an eyelid.
Well, I have done. I'm normalising my local community that there's now an eccentric weirdo living in, and not one that just steals pigeons.
The pigeon stealer of old London town.
Yeah. Now, Peter Bryan quite rightly has asked, "Where's my leek?" But he's also wrongly asked, "Where's my leek?" Because I'm not wearing anything Peter Davidson-ish, other than perhaps loosely the white shirt. Peter Davidson wore the leek on his lapel.
Celery, wasn't it? Wasn't it celery?
Well, actually, it was celery. You're quite right. It was a little stick of celery.
It's up certain forms of radiation in the something spectrum, I'm going to say.
Yeah. Literally, I think the costume department on the first day of filming went, what's in my lunchbox?
Where's the daffodils? Oh, sod it.
What about a celery stick? Okay, go with it. He wears a celery stick. Why? Who cares?
Definitely more preparation than old 60s.
Yeah. Well, they all, if you look at them after the third, from the fourth onwards, they kind of all for a long time had something on their lapel.
Yeah. Little cat. Did you ever read, going slightly off on the segue as I want to do, in Doctor Who Monthly 100, they had the history of Gallifrey. I can't remember who wrote it now. It might have been Gary. But that was good. There was lots of things about cats in that. Cat being eaten.
I always kind of thought they were kind of cat people, really. Of course.
Let's not get started. Let's not get started on the New Year's one.
Do you know? It's the elephant in the room. Do we talk about it as nerds, or do we just let it slide like Star Trek fans?
I don't want to be that kind of person on there, but I'm reaching the limit of my patience.
Yeah, I've kind of broken down over the whole, literally fans just tearing chunks out of each other.
Yeah, every time I read a thread, it's like that. It's just horrible.
Yeah, and it has become so polarized. It's you either have to love it all or you're not a fan. But equally, on the other side of the coin, you've got an awful lot of fans who are like, it's everything pre-11 was fantastic, and everything post-11 sucks.
That's not the case at all.
No, but why has the middle ground been eroded? What is wrong with saying, you know what, Matt Smith was pretty good towards the end of his tenure. He was really channeling a true kind of Doctor vibe. Not Tom Baker, sorry, David Tennant. I think David Tennant from the word go was very doctorish.
Yeah, after a while, it was the same. If he gurned one more time or showed me those teeth, he did the same kind of shtick in there. But Matt Smith had me from the custard scene. In that first within like 15-20 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's it. You got it.
Yeah. Fish fingers and custard.
I don't know. It's nothing to do with the actors. I just don't think the script's up to it. There's some really, really odd choices in the one on New Year.
Yeah.
Peculiar, and it can't seem to. It's like that character's not there. The things that you recognise throughout everybody, I can't find. I keep looking and I keep hoping they'll turn up. But when they do, it's a little kind of throwaway. No depth to any of the chats or conversations and stuff.
It's all become very shallow. One of my mates summed it up well by saying there were 4 humans in the TARDIS.
Yeah, and each one has each Doctor has a slightly different interpretation of it. And you'd say Peter Davison was, they're certainly a step in that sort of direction. Has been a little bit softer in there, but it's those basic kind of character traits that seem to go through whoever plays it in there that I'm not seeing.
No.
That the hates goodbye bits I've always kind of liked because it sort of shows that alien stuff, but that he's been slightly affected by the people that he travelled with, and that seemed to be overplayed and a bit too.
The Doctor was always generally touched, even companions that didn't really gel with him. He was always touched by the presence. He always learned something from them. He or she, always learned something from them. But kind of once that door was closed and they were gone, he kind of shrugged it off and was Gallifreyan again, because literally everybody around them dies. And the Doctors, the Gallifreyans, the whole thing is, their life is changed because...
That's what I think RTD got really, really kind of boiled it down to, that kind of lonely god thing that he did, I thought worked really well.
Yeah.
But this time, I just keep waiting for that righteous anger speech all of the time that every kind of Doctor does. And there was that bit on the top where Mr. Big disappears down the ladder, and there's no condemnation to the audience to say, you despicable little man. There's none of that. He just goes, oh, I'm going to jump down the ladder and I'm going to run off. Oh, I can't stop you. It's like, what?
It was like, why, aye, lad? On you go. It'll all be fine. Let's have a cup of tea, like.
Yeah. And it's like the story. Okay, oh no, we want Chris Noth as a recurring villain in another series, so he needs to go. It's like the plot's driving it rather than the character's decision to drive it. It's strange.
Doctor Who always used to be about a story that was going on, and the Doctor would arrive, and it was kind of like, I've integrated myself into this tale.
Yes, blunders in the middle of it.
There's too much now of, I'm actually a part of it, or the story's actually about me, or my fam are all affected by this, and no, people don't matter. There's too many of us. Peter Bryan. Yeah, Bradley Walsh did some excellent acting, and do you know what? First season, Bradley Walsh, I have to, and this is a weird thing to say for Companion, Bradley Walsh was why I was watching it. I was almost half hoping we were going to discover halfway through that he was actually the Doctor and had
That
total
went through my
amnesia.
head as well. Actually, at one point, it was it's really it's kind of perverse. But the weakest scenes are when the Doctor's in it sometimes.
Yeah, as somebody I think in one of the chats or what was, but I don't even remember if it was my page now or something said was the Doctor in that episode, and the destruction of a sentient TARDIS.
I had issue with that.
It irked me. No, it irked me until I thought back to the very first Doctor. Do you remember the Mad Monk? Or
yes.
The Time Meddler?
Yeah.
So Time Meddler, as we know, was another Time Lord wandering about in medieval Ireland. And the Doctor stole one of the circuits from his TARDIS, which meant the TARDIS became small on the outside, retained its relative dimensions inside, but he couldn't get into his TARDIS to use it anymore. And it was like disguised as the altar of a church. And then I thought, well, but yeah, hang on. He took that away so that he couldn't use it, but he didn't actually harm the TARDIS by that.
The nature of what the ship is has changed over the years, hasn't it? But particularly in the modern ones, the Doctor's wife and stuff like that really concentrated on that little relationship I always used to like when Tom Baker, would refer to the TARDIS and go, come on, my dear. And I liked that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that really explores it and kind of says, yeah, it's a rare and kind of beautiful thing. And there's been lots of that to build on. So to kind of throw that away and even announce it as a bit of a trick seems a really odd kind of story choice. I suspect we've just got to get rid of that Ruth's Doctor. What are we calling that Doctor? I don't know. That whatever that one is. I want to call that 2B.
Lord. Yeah.
I suspect we've got to get rid of that one somehow. It's weird because I much prefer that TARDIS design. I don't like the current TARDIS design. It looks like a set. I can see where the lights are being projected behind it.
It does
solid.
It does. It looks like some 7TV terrain. But yeah, I do sit there at times, sort of looking at myself and thinking, you know what, you've become, Andy, you've just become that ultimate nerd who is too attached to the mythos and too attached to the MacGuffins.
Yeah.
And you're forgetting that the story's the important thing. And then the other one of the 13 voices in my head goes, yeah, but let's look at those stories. Tell me the memorable stories from the last era of the new series. And I've got to say, I can't think of a single specific Jodie story. I can pull out of my head about 3 Capaldis, 1 Smith, a couple of Tennants, and that's kind of it.
I wonder whether it lives best in nostalgia, because my boys now are like 17 and 20, and we were having a conversation the other day about, do you remember Tooth and Claw, and do you remember that? And they're thinking back with a lot of love and kind of reverence is probably not the right word, but there's nostalgia there, going, oh yeah, we love those ones and we love that. And looking back at the old stuff that we used to watch at their sort of age, it was, as you say, it's had moments of greatness, but it's still been a regular TV program that has had highs and lows all the way through. I remember feeling a bit the same with Sylvester McCoy run. I couldn't connect with it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm finding with Simpson Chibnall was talking about. I can't connect with it. I'm not seeing that character as much.
It kind of tweaked for me whenever I seen people. They were praising it, and then when you actually looked at what they were praising the little nods. They were praising the little tinges of nostalgia for them over the past couple of series, at least. With the Ood appearing and the silence and stuff like that. I thought, but hang on a minute. That's exactly what everyone rallied round and pointed at Star Trek Discovery and went, oh, you're just playing a nostalgia trip. Your story sucks, and you're just throwing in all these wee nods of nostalgia to keep the old fan base happy. Oh, the doors sound like the doors. Oh, the computer sounds like the computer tweak. And yet the Klingons look like marshmallows and everything else. I thought, it's just what's happened. And Star Wars, the same, Oh, the new Star Wars sucks. Oh, look, they've given us an old ship. Oh, look, they've given us an old robot. Oh, they've mentioned somebody that was important, 25, 30 years ago. And now who's kind of doing the same trick? It's going.
Yeah, there's that prison scene at the beginning where they're kind of chucking those all in, which is a good old Sharda kind of nod in there, and it kind of did the same in there. But when you just think back to like the previous episode and the continuity kind of smash up at that point, I thought the Cyber Lords were just the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Just really strange kind of thing to do. It's like, oh my god,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it just needs to have a. Maybe it's not for me anymore. Maybe that's what it is. It's a shame because I love it so much.
Well, this keeps coming back into my head that at the end of the day, it's now a kid. Not now. It always has been a kid show, and I'm not a kid anymore. So I have two choices. I can go, I'm not a kid anymore. I need to watch The Expanse. Or I go, I'm not a kid anymore. I just have to go along with the ride for this and accept that it's not my Doctor Who. It's just a Doctor Who.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about it is that I think with the format that they've got, it can always come back. I'm sure it'll be in another 20 years because it can do it in there. I think at its best, it plays to both of those audiences. It plays to both parents and kids.
Yeah,
it was Hammer horror on a budget and a kids going and was different then, but I'm sure there were a lot of parents looking on going, oh my god, look at the state of that bloke with a fishbowl on his head.
Yeah. No, it probably goes along at a pace enough to keep the modern audience happy. And there's the odd word gets thrown in where mum or dad sitting behind their Radio Times will look up and go, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I think that's just where you have to be and try and not get too annoyed about it. It's like when everyone said that, the Phantom Menace and all that ruined Star Wars film, it didn't ruin it. Your 3 Star Wars Holy Bible trilogy is still there. You can go and watch that the same way you have and pretend nothing else ever exists. And your Star Wars is intact. And I think
it's a generational thing because mine grew up watching those. I took them along to that and they had all the toys for that. And I think once you buy into that world and you play in that world,
you're
that
happy.
As a connection
that
you don't lose. And they weren't really bothered about the original ones too much. They were quite happy with Jango Fett and Clone Troopers.
Because it was all a bit faster and it was a bit more actiony and there's no brothers kissing sisters. So, everything was kind of cool.
Confusing messaging.
Peter Brown, I'm of an age where I was old enough to be enjoying it during the McCoy era and also enjoyed Tennant, so I enjoy nostalgia version and modern, but the more recent Writer Room story episodes, yeah. Well, I think that kind of sums it up for our lot. Like when you go in behind these doors into the next room, I've from the first Doctor onwards. And I'll sit here quite often and I'll stick as happily on a First Doctor adventure as I will a Capaldi adventure. And I'll play it in the background while I'm working. And they're very different. And even you go First Doctor and Third Doctor, they're very different beasts.
See, it's funny, isn't it? Because I don't enjoy the Hartnell run as much as I do. Troughton is, that fits in. And I don't know whether that's target novelisation bits. They're definite, they're a different paced kind of show anyway in there. But it's when the Master kicks in season 2 of Pertwee then. Because the first season is still quite traditional in the sort of format and the length of the episodes and bits and pieces. But when it sort of changes that gear into that slightly more kind of action series, that's when I start to lean into it.
Which
into a little bit more.
Which makes a lot of sense because what they were doing was they were changing the show to keep it at pace with what was popular elsewhere. Your Man from U.N.C.L.E. and your James Bonds, and that's where the gadgets and the cars and all come from. So the lazy writer room stuff now keeps in pace with the people who are watching This Way Is Essex and Love Island and Corrie and Emmerdale and TikTok and all the rest of it. The fact that most of us here gathered today in his name can hold an attention span slightly longer than 45 seconds is a skill that's starting to slip away. And, in like another 20 years, most TV programs will probably only last 30 seconds.
Just be the Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Just be the adverts.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yes. That's probably where it is heading, where if it doesn't fit in an upload of a couple of minutes, it's, that's too long,
Yeah, I don't know. It's. I think probably just waiting for it. It's the. For me, that was the thing I was looking forward to most over Christmas. That and Wurzel Gummidge, obviously.
Obviously.
And it's just, oh no, it's just done it again. It put a bit of a kind of a retread of other stuff. It still didn't give me that kind of that hook that I wanted. Anyway.
No, but it's all good. The stuff you love is still there, and you can turn it on anytime you want, thanks to BritBox, and you can love it and live in that moment with your Kellogg's cornflakes.
Exactly. I got me. What did I get? I got Macro Terror, which I'd missed out on the releases somehow. I don't know how, but I got that. Picked that up for Christmas. That'd be quite good.
My Whovian disc collection for Christmas was the Faceless Ones.
Yes.
Terror from the Deep.
Fury from the Deep.
Fury from the Deep, sorry. And the other one with Daleks.
Power of the Daleks.
Power of the Daleks.
The other animated one. Yeah, I'd missed Macro Terror somewhere. I knew it was coming out, but I don't know what happened there. But
look at the busy life you lead. I mean, look even, shall we, at the releases that are coming in 2021 alone.
Nice, back on track.
Did you see how that just naturally and just flowed like a river into 2021?
Oh. Go on then, what we got?
Well, I've now miraculously, through the wonders of modern technology, brought up images onto the screen. Unfortunately, through the wonders of modern technology, those images are in no order whatsoever.
The first one that I've just seen pop up, that's Flapper Jen, that is.
Pardon me?
That's Flapper Jen.
Thank you.
She's one of our esoteric agents for Lurkers of the Deep. That is, in the first set of the Pulp one, we had Dr. Peter Wright with his lantern as the occult investigator.
Oh, yes, Green Lantern.
Yeah, well, Flapper Jen is Peter's life partner in real life, because I thought they needed a bookend in there. She doesn't go around with a stake.
Yes, I was going to say, is this a typical depiction in your head that most women wear long coats, hats, and carry knives?
During the 30s, they were all like that.
This was like everyday life.
As far as I understand, I've done research.
Fair enough.
I can find no evidence at all to suggest otherwise.
I'm totally down with that. That makes sense. Moving along, then we have a picture. This is the open box of Lurkers in the Deep, which is very exciting because we can actually see product. There we go. Look at that.
So, can we do you want box of delights?
Well, yeah, you do that with your picture because they're looking at a still image of all the contents that you're waving around like a lunatic.
They saw me.
Yeah.
So we've got the little VHS box in there. So this will be the first Kickstarter of this year, probably next month. I would have thought.
Next month,
probably
folks. Next month. Get your pennies
so,
ready.
Each one of those is a little standalone set of adventures. So this has got 5 little linked scenarios in. Little dinky book.
It's like a comic. Look at the small words, everybody.
It's a little, it's a little tiny book in there, which has got everything you need, and you'll have all of your profile cards in there. We've got the injury rules in this one as well, and bespoke gadgets and stuff. And there's a countdown deck for one of the episodes, and it'll have a little set of tokens in it as well. So that's the actual game part of it. And then there's loads of minis for it as well.
Coats and stakes are the cutting edge of fashion in Wales, apparently, according to Jez.
I don't disagree. A long coat.
They have coats in Wales.
So yeah, there you go.
Very, very nice.
A package of a little retro VHS thing in there. The book's got the history into the making of our kind of Lurkers of the Deep with our Pulp studio. in there, and 5 episodes, and everything you need to do a little campaign of raid on Innsmouth.
Do you know what's making I'm just thinking about here? I mean, obviously, there's Jess going, "Oh, look, tiny book, that's class." There's bound to be at least one person going, "They've changed the size of the box in the rule book. I don't like that."
Yeah, that's so that all fits into these.
Yeah, but they'll be sitting there going, "Well, all my other ones fit in the shelf that way. Now I'm going to have to change the shelf that they're on."
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
So that. There's another one I've been working on there for fantasy.
Look at her now. I don't know if I can find the picture like that quickly. Okay, it's the next picture.
So, on the front there, what we got? Orsa the Fearless. She is our barbarian heroine that our kind of studio did 3 or 4 movies about, and there'll be more on that as we get into the stuff over the next month. We do the marketing in there, but we've done a figure for that. She's on the front of the box of the like the fantasy box.
Yes.
And there may be a little promotional thing to get that mini kind of as a freebie when we launch the box in summer.
Look at you using the word. You just throwing the word free around there like some sort of creative person.
Free indeed. Yeah, she's become our kind of our which is cover girl for the box, but she's got a sort of range of movies and other bits and pieces. So we might do a little.
So we'd be okay, but like painting her hair red. That's what you're basically telling us.
You can tell she's raven haired in all the best fantasy traditions. In there, the she bear, also the fearless.
Raven haired black. Raven haired's like that kind of bluey black.
Yeah. So she's got that. She's got a bear companion.
Oh well, I've found her picture. So everyone at home's looking at her
there
now.
She is.
And
that was painted by Simon Bradley, and Kev did some pictures of that for me. So we've got her on the front of the box, as well as some fantastic art by Dave Needham, which is lovely.
That's very nice. Yeah, I think if I jump back here a few pictures, which I can do now, and ignore everything else that we'll talk about. Sure, there it is. There, I think this is the bear companion.
Yes, that's right. So that's sculpted by Phil Hines, and I bought it off him recently. So that's rather nice. So fantasy will be the big thing this year. That will be out in the summer. I'm going to say June because that's what we're kind of planning to. But we don't. The expo is still meant to be on. They're kind of stuffing stuff out for it, but we just don't really know at the moment.
Yeah, it's on, but it's not likely. Yeah.
What was that, Jez? Said that's a great package. So is that a full game or an expansion? Right. I'm confusing things for you.
No, because actually, you see, this is quite good because I was about to ask you for clarification. I was about to say to you, so we've got our VHS cassettes coming out. We've got Lurkers in the Deep, Attacking Innsmouth. We've got our Red Sonja, because that's just what I'm going to call her from now until forever. But we've also got 7TV Fantasy coming out as the traditional box game. So where in the mythos do these VHS cassettes fit as games?
Right, okay. So, yeah, Fantasy, 4th box set. Usual, big size thing, 230 profile cards, all the usual kind of bits and pieces in it. What I really wanted to do was try and get more games stuff out to people on a more regular basis in there. And we had the program guides, which were okay, but they needed a kind of a lot of work and a lot of profiles in to get them up. So, for a feature pack, things are expansions for the different bits of the game. So that's got Pulp on the spine, that one's got Fantasy on the spine. We'll do ones for Apocalypse and things in there, and they will be little standalone bits. Lots and lots of folks like the sandbox bit of kind of 7TVs that you can build whatever you like and do great a load of other people, but we want to try and cater for as well that can basically take it out of the box and you can just kind of play that.
So it's almost, in one respect, it kind of does two things because it's kind of like a cheaper buy-in starter box. You could buy this and kind of have a go at 7TV without a big expense.
Yes, you could download the kind of the freebie rules, and there's more on that later. In there and kind of plug in one of those. You should be able to play most of those with it. There's a couple of things like statuses and bits and pieces which change between the different sets in there. But in theory, yeah, that'll be, I don't know, 20 quidish for the basic game and the bits. And it's got tokens and cards and stuff.
Yeah, sampler level. But on the other hand, as you say, for Jimmy with his big core box, he's sitting there going, I wish I could come up with some great ideas for playing games. There's another Borders accent for you. He can lift his VHS off and literally plug it into his tabletop, and it gives him everything he wants. One's the player, one's the cassette, both slot together, fit together perfectly to deliver fun on your tabletop.
You've got slightly filthy through all of that there.
I don't know what you mean at all.
You went off. You went in the Venn diagram of filth. You stepped clearly into that.
There are two circles close together, but they don't overlap.
No, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, you're basically your regular 7TV player will be able to use all of the resources out of that in their usual games. You know, there'll be extra cards in there, and there'll be named stars in this one rather than generic archetypes and stuff. But you'll be able to use all of those together like you have with the program guides. So hopefully it gives us a bit more flexibility. We've got 3 or 4 of those in the works at the moment. Lurkers is pretty much done because that will be the next kind of Kickstarter. And we're thinking about ones that will go with Fancy as well. We've got a couple of ideas, some smart bits and pieces. So hopefully there'll be some regular. Hold on, excuse me, that's the phone going. There'll be regular kind of like releases.
Lovely.
Now. And it may mean that we can do stuff like the poor old program guides for like the Beat and United Radionics that we had in kind of first edition. There's no reason why we can't just do that as a feature pack, or concentrating on those characters and those stars in 3 or 4 linked adventures, and you can still use the profile cards for other games. So I think it just gives it a little bit more flex, and they're a bit quicker to produce, and we can package them nicely in this kind of like retro thing.
Yep. Because the one thing that fans of Crooked Dice and 7TV struggle with is the fact that you don't give us enough stuff to buy.
Is that, of course?
Yeah, it'll be nice to take a break from, oh my word, I need to paint and buy more miniatures this month again. Thanks, Carl, to at least being able to go, well, do you know what? This month I'm just going to buy all the paperwork. I'm going to read that. I'm going to take a month off painting and just read some cool stuff again.
But my wife very sort of like says to me, maybe you could slow down a bit. Maybe you could have a bit of a break and not do. Yeah, probably could do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you like eating and paying the rent and stuff like that, but so do all your fans.
It's weird with the Lurkers bit. When I sat down to do it, I went, oh, I've got 30 miniatures for this that I've been saving up for about 18 months. So I'm planning them back. If not, they're not just, there is a plan. It's just when I get it together, I've got loads of stuff. I've got a bit of scenery.
But let's not forget that Lurkers doesn't end with a small VHS cassette and a tiny book and 30 figures. Haven't we talked about the other part of Lurkers, or is that still top secret that I only know about?
Yeah, there are 12 MDF buildings to build your own little kind of New England town.
Yeah.
With as well that Sarissa have developed for it. So that's all part of it as well. So
essentially it's a 40k core box is what Lurkers is going to be.
If you had such a big box to put it in, you probably could in there. But I'm trying to give people the flexibility to just buy the bits that they want, so no one feels like they're being kind of ripped off or forced into
Carl's trying to give you false security here. Basically, what you want to do is get onto eBay and see if anyone who bought Indomitus is selling the box. Just the cardboard box. Just the empty box. They all went, no, Space Marines and Necrons. But most of them probably don't care about that huge cardboard box. So, 5, 10, it's a really good cardboard box, and you probably want to get 2 of them.
That's the joy of those. That's a nice little container to get lots of bits and pieces in.
Yes, but you're obfuscating the fact that all of Lurkers will fill its own tabletop. It's a game.
Yeah, there's plenty there for you to do with it, and plenty of different profiles and stuff in there that if you then wanted to go and write your own chapters of stuff and do your own bits and pieces, you could. So in the greatest kind of mashup traditions of 7TV, it's essentially war movies meet cosmic horror. So we've got some proper kind of soldiery profiles in there and some models to match. So
yeah, because I was going to say on the score of soldiery profiles, there is, I believe, there is some soldiers coming. I'm sure we've got one here.
A pack of US Rangers are in there. One of these scenarios is trying to hold off swarms of deep ones who are trying to overrun a lighthouse with a load of kind of Rangers doing an Alamo kind of style combat.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the soldier picture, but my cool button of doing things is, it was doing things again now. There we go. It wasn't doing things. Find more lurkers of the deep pictures. You've all been watching some of these because I kind of forgot to press pause. So just been rolling along the screen. But there is one of the soldiers on here as a little, I don't know if it's a preview pic or if it's like one of them computer generated pictures. It's gone. It's in here somewhere. There's a fish stand. There he is. There he is. There he is. US.
4-pack of those.
He's gone.
If there's time, I might look to try and get another kind of like troop pack for it. But there we go.
No, that kind of miniature, at least in the world of tabletop miniatures, there's no shortage of out there.
No, there's plenty of those. Always try to do stuff that you can, you probably have in your collection somewhere along the line.
Now, one thing that's been spiraling through the screen here, everyone's kind of getting a brief look at it at the minute, and they'll come back again because I can't be bored fighting with the buttons. What's the airport kit all about?
So Richard Kemp originally, he runs Hot Lead Boiler Suit Company.
Okay.
Yeah, if you've not heard of them, they do some great stuff. They do dinosaurs and various brilliant things. And he designed the original Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, write that down, terrain in there that Copplestone sold, and then Nick North Star sold that. And I said to him for a while, are you interested in ever selling those? Because it would be brilliant for the secret base and stuff. And he went, oh, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to think, but I can design some new stuff for you. Brilliant. Okay, so the first 3 things that we've got out this month are the pillars set and the death traps and the other bits and pieces which are probably on there as well.
Yeah.
So he started to design those. We've got those into production. And then he said, oh, okay, yeah, I will sell you the older sets as well. So they're going to be going in. So we've done those, and I said, oh, what would be really, I'd love to do a good kind of 60s airport scenario. That would be quite good, wouldn't it? A good James Bond shootout in an airport in there. So he's done a carousel and some luggage bits, and we're going to do some luggage carts. There's a check-in desk and passport control, a little kind of airport diner, and an airport newsstand in there, so that you can have a little setup for that. So it's a really nice themed.
Die Hard 2.
Yeah. You do that as well. So he's just done a load of pieces for that, and they're just exquisite. They're just beautiful. They're so crisp and clean. So I got a box of loveliness that turned up this week. So I've taken some photographs of those. They'll be off to the caster.
Sweet.
And we'll make up once we've got the little suitcases cast. We'll do some piles of those, and we'll do the little electric carts that
run the stuff out to the airplane to load up and
we'll
stuff.
do a couple of those as well. He's done a little office set and some crates for a kind of little warehouse freight kind of bit as well. So
does this start to open up sort of for you the thinking that because 3D printing obviously is a thing that's never going to go away now. But does this maybe start to open up for Crooked Dice the sort of things that you could put up as 3D printable product that you yourself are never going to actually print and physically sell? Like Gantry's up to a plane, 3D print files for a plane. The crazy kind of stuff that really, the likes of Jez there is going to go, I'm crazy, I'm going to print myself a Boeing 747.
for a very, very long while. All the stuff that Ernst has done from like Heroes 2, possibly even a little bit before that, is all STLs in there. And every time we have a chat, or I go, oh yeah, I must get those and put those into the store so people can download and print their own. I've still not got round to it. The stuff that Richard's done, he does traditionally, so it's traditional hand sculpted stuff. The stuff that I've seen for 3D printing works much better, as you say, for
crazy stuff.
747 or whatever it is you want. Those ridiculous big pieces that are just not viable to cast in resin, really. No. So most of the stuff we've done has done smaller scatter. It's just I probably would need to find another 3D sculptor that could do that on side for me as well. That's probably what it comes down to do those bigger bits, because everyone else is really busy with all the other stuff that I throw at them.
You keep everybody occupied. It's like probably people have changed you on their phone to it's him again. Instead of ringing and going Carl, it just comes up it's him again. So they know to avoid the call. No, my fingers are worked to the bone sculpting this past 12 months. I must take time to take my child to the hospital.
Oh, that bad.
I'm sorry, Mr. Carl. I have to go to the hospital. Well, design this on the way for me, or I'll thrash you to within an inch of your life, boy.
I've seen so many Kickstarters over the lockdown for just 3D printed stuff in there, really tuned into that. Well, you can't get out, so do it at home in there. And I'd love to do it. I've seen some cracking ones.
We had a go at the start of it with some black site studio stuff, which was pretty cool. There was the Blade Runner and the Alien miniatures, and now they're doing Escape from New York, and they've done like a set of armed presidents and things like that there.
Is that what that was the other day? I did see that pop up. Yeah.
Okay. It does fascinate me because there's yourself, consummate professional and respecter of IP that you are, and there have been things in the past where, like a ship sailing around the Cape of Good Hope, finding a course that's safe to get to the other side. You have charted a sometimes dangerous path in your own mind and avoided falling on the rocks of litigation. Whereas these other people just seem to go, hey, look, I've made a picture of all the crew at Alien. Here, buy them for money.
There are the ones out there. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to get myself in trouble.
I love
but there are some
7TV2 sculpt harder for Die Hard 2.
If I said that to any of the very talented people that I work with, they would kill me.
But why are you being so careful when clearly the rest of the world is throwing caution and underwear to the wind?
Am I though?
I think you are. I think you are.
I've certainly wanted to build it so that we had a range of stuff, a range of different genres that you could kind of pick from. I thought that's probably the best way to be able to sustain the business. And now I'm getting, I'll get orders for some fantasy and orders for apocalypse and orders for the traditional spy-fi stuff in there. So we're catering to a wider, and that's allowed us to keep going for kind of 10 years.
Oh no! I'm
feeling not on the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing the range of games. We love them. Otherwise, why would I take time out of my busy Sunday morning to talk to you other than your roguish handsome looks? No, I mean things like, you used to do some medical personalities. One might have said doctors, for example. And I only cite that as one example. And, it's not like somebody walked up to you and said, "Now stop that."
But somebody else did those, so it was best not to anymore. Would be the nicest way to say it. So that's.
lots of people make chess.
I don't think there's an IP on a porn though. I think
there is IP on porn.
Bad choice.
Well, again, I say skirt the rocks of IP infringement. As I say, other people are quite blasé and quite blatantly doing it. Now, I'm not suggesting you start making a range of robed knights with laser swords, because that would be stupid. But right, we've got our island priests. Island priests are lovely. They've been circling along here, so they have. Okay? Some might say there is no difference between doing a set of island priests and doing a set of temporally mobile medical professionals.
Look at that giant bird eating your hat and coat.
I can get another.
What else have we got available this month?
Okay, move on. Move on. He's not going to bite. Right, what about the weird alien bint with a funny hat then?
The weird alien bint with a funny hat?
Yeah. She's got a big stick and a funny hat. There she is.
Oh, that is our Necromancer that James Sheriff has done. That will be in the Skeleton Command pack.
Right, and
so
those...
got, so there's that. There's a kind of a Skeleton King. Have you seen the fellow with the pipe? Skeleton playing a pipe.
You don't.
Magician and a standard bearer. So that'll be a command pack for the Skellies.
Right.
And we've got, I've already shown those, but we've got the bows. Yeah, there's 2 sets of bows of archers, some maces, and some axe wielding ones as well. So there's another 16 skeletons coming.
And what are the boys with the baldy bowling ball heads? Sorry that I'm not being very technical here.
Oh, yeah, they are what we call a sorceress sentinel, I think they are. So they are weird kind of science fantasy gods. Oh, excuse me.
What was that?
Oh.
Oh, right, that's normally your signal to me that you've said something that I should not pick up on. But you've said it in such a fashion that I couldn't actually pick up on.
I don't know what it is. Right, okay. There's secret message coming your way.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
They've got lasery kind of stave.
Yes,
things.
got you.
So there'll be there's a profile for those in the fantasy box set.
Got you now. My pause button's not working. The picture just keeps changing. I was trying to keep the picture on the little bowling ball headed guys, but it's just refused.
They're 3 eyes and they're weird.
Wayne Bollins, are you making resin train of all the places we can't go?
Yes. Next month will be Aberystwyth.
Yes. And on Tuesday we'll do the High Street after 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, just do a pub.
Yeah, a pub with people in it.
Well,
Airport, WH Smith, etc.
I was thinking, I need some stewardesses and some check-in staff, and
Yeah, I mean, you could call one of them Tegan. That
nice.
See what I did there?
Great art.
Yeah. Because you've got you could always do your modern airport police, or you could kind of do your retro airport police, because you could kind of resculpt your existing bobbies, just not have them all wielding batons.
Yeah, we've got security guards as well. I'd have to have a look at what older airport security staff look like. I don't know. They're normally kind of that New York cop kind of outfit from memory, but I don't know whether that's just city police that happen to be stationed in. I'm thinking of.
Well, the airport police are still regular police, but they kind of get sidetracked at training, because airport police it's the same as harbour police. They're like a little subsect. They get a different badge.
Yeah.
But as far as
a good little set with maybe like a Leonardo DiCaprio as a pilot and that kind of thing, some stewardesses and security guard and check-in staff. And a nice little sort of pack to that to go in, quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, stewardesses would be perfect as like a pack, a group of sort of 5 or 6, and they operate as like a pack, and they attack as a pack. I imagine them being vampire-like. I worked at an airport for 2 years. I know what I'm talking about.
I was thinking about, come fly with me is what I was thinking of.
Don't forget, because obviously we've got to think of the real life here as well. But don't forget the poor old cleaning teams in these exciting places, be it secret bunkers or anything. Yeah. The trolley, the mopper, the janitor, because the janitor knows stuff.
Yeah, or even just passengers, a crying child,
Yeah, yeah. Or you go Mission Impossible and you've got your little box set, which is like the janitor, the engineer, the electrician, and like the plumber.
Yeah.
Or are they?
So what you've done there. Yes, there's plenty of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be a nice little set. So what else? There's other bits and pieces. There's a paper with all that on. Airport, Death Trap, Data Center. He's already done the War Room, which is the one with all the maps on it. Showed you the launch silo, so he's got that one. There's a monitoring station, which has got all of those cool little map tables. I think I showed you those a couple of weeks ago. Power plant. Might do a sub pen. And then there's all the original sets that he had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 previous sets, which was the control room, the big bank, the missile control room, the power room, the lab, medical room, high-tech lab. And then there were loads and loads of doors. Just little standalone doors of loads of different types, which was great for a board game, where you just have the 7 TV breaking out of the evil mastermind's lab is a good board game.
That would work.
I think there was one called, was it Spy or Die or
Spy or Die Trying, something like that. Yeah,
that might have already done it. I remember something like that. I can't remember if it was a board game or a skirmish, but
I think there was a small skirmish game, but I don't think they've done an awful lot with it. And as far as I know, it's kind of like it's ethered. You can always reenact.
There's loads of doors. I don't know. God knows how many doors there are, but kind of like big lab doors and just other little storerooms and stuff. That's all quite cute.
Are some of these going to be big enough to kind of optionally replace the doorways in the?
That's the only thing they're too thin, really, to go in the existing walls. Because the walls are they've got the spacers in, haven't they?
Yeah.
As you well know, after building hundreds of things. And they're probably too thin. You could probably design a wall in there, but I think it's the depth that would look a bit peculiar.
Okay, so we just need a new wall for the secret bunker that gives us alternate doors.
I think the doors would be quite good for kind of scratch builders and bits and pieces like that. They're just really nice little things, but they're all part of the stuff that was included in it.
Doors are always cool.
So there's loads of those.
I think you're being wanted. Wonder if a certain company with the name of a 1970s UK comic might be up to giving a license they've done out with for months. Your medical professionals were the best.
Certain company with a name. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what was done there. No.
Probably not.
No.
Once they get their teeth into these things, they tend not to let them go.
Yeah. I've been there, I think.
Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Well, you didn't even make the t-shirt, still waiting on my t-shirt.
Oh, I did some designs for some nice t-shirts the other day. Using the artwork from Fantasy, from Dave's Things. Might chuck those in when we launch the box.
Probably. You should Crooked Dice, frankly, should have a t-shirt for all its genres. With director written on the back. No, but so that when people are out demoing the game again, it comes
I know. It's another one of the things on my very long to-do list of kind of, do the artwork for that.
Assistant director on the back of all the viable ones.
Runner. There's loads of them.
Key grip.
Key grip. That's my favourite, actually.
No. Surely Good Boy has to be the favourite.
The Good Boy's quite good. Boom operator. I mean, that's not as funny as it was, but it's just boom. That's what I was just thinking of.
It's just the dubiousness nature of having a t-shirt with Good Boy written on the back of it. Who's going to be reading that and when?
Oh, God.
Oh, behave. Right, well look, it's coming up to like 12 o'clock, and whilst I get the distinct feeling that we could possibly press on with this for easily another hour, I am conscious that you probably need to do something what we in the real world like to call have a bit of a day off.
Oh no, we've got this, we launched the Island Priests, and I've got a lot of orders. Thank you for everyone that put an order in, because there's loads up there that we've got to get through for tomorrow. I have been delivered a pastry though. Very nice.
Well, that's a pastry on a Sunday.
On a Sunday. So no, I'll be doing that. Take the Christmas tree down. I'll try and do. Oh, I've been doing the Mando profiles as well as a little. That was my Christmas fun project.
Those were awesome.
Really.
Yeah, those are awesome.
I'll keep doing those. I've been working through my episode. Getting there.
Yeah, it's all good fun. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. Right, boys and girls, girls and boys, kitty winkles, and all the rest of it. You see, this was like our version of a New Year's special. No theme song this week, but we did give you a 20-minute special tearing Doctor Who apart. So, we give and we take with two hands.
I think we did very well today. I think we even kept on track. I think we talked about stuff.
Yeah, I'm worried that a lot of people who watch this one or who have been with us this morning, and thank you everyone who took the time out, I'm worried that they will think that this is how on target we're going to be every time. I like to think that this is a special event.
We set the bar too high. But to be fair, we really lowered the bar over the last year. I mean, it's really quite low.
Rather like Doctor Who, I think we had some particular highs and some very lazy writing.
It was writing?
Joe, I think there were some episodes where you and I basically just beforehand kind of went, yeah, let's just run with it.
At best, this is improv. I don't know, there's any writing involved.
I think there could be scope for us to do stand-up as long as nobody expects it to be funny.
Or turned up. I think if no one was watching, yeah. I don't know.
We get enough viewers to actually beat some of the acts that turn up to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Well, that was always the fun about the Fringe. You go to some old took.
Oh, speaking about Fringe, that I was actually rewatching some of the old TV show Fringe.
I used to quite enjoy that.
Well, what my rationale was, I was watching it, and as I was watching it, I was being awfully reminded of 7TV. A lot of how the action and the pacing of it happens just reminds me of games of 7TV.
It gets a bit wibbly wobbly and epic towards the end, doesn't it?
Yes, they have a blip,
and the scope of it really, really kind of opens up. It's probably something that actually deserves the binge watch because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of threads to keep hold of, which week by week, I probably didn't keep hold of all of them.
No, I when it got into the kind of meta story, I did kind of struggle a little bit. I do like my television episodic, but anyway, I digress. I don't know why that came to me. I think it's because I said the Edinburgh Fringe. Yeah, we were finishing up. We were wrapping up. We've got 1 minute to finish. Right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, all of yous. Don't forget to hit subscribe. It's a big red button. It says subscribe on it somewhere. And tell all your friends, because frankly, Saturday morning 7TV, even on a Sunday, is the best thing on the internet that we watch and our mums watch. So
I never watch it back. Never watch it back.
No, never go back. Never go back,
ladies and gentlemen.
Except for that really good episode at near the middle of season 1. It was quite funny.
Is that the one when we weren't in it so much? Is it like the Blink episode?
I think it's the one where we sang for like most of the episode.
The musical episode.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had that conversation where we thought we really need to try and sing an episode because all good shows have a musical episode.
It's probably feeling.
Yeah. What we'll try and do for next week, folks, is we'll try and do the flashback episode where we just talk about all the good bits that have happened in the past because we've got no material that actually.
In previous bits, it's the lazy one where we can't be asked to do anything. I like that.
we were doing our own New Year's video, we Justin and Paul, and we were sort of at the start of the video, all live, kind of going, do you know what? 2020 sucked. Maybe we should just like stick on the 2019 video over this.
I like it. We just do the top and tail. We
Yeah.
sign in and we sign out. Well, wasn't that a crazy year? Bye.
Yeah. And that's what I should do. I should put like a montage of all our best moments, and we'll just do like a 30-second opening and like a 1 minute wrap up and go, there we go. Yeah, do a clip show. Peter's just said do a clip show.
Bloopers. It's nothing but bloopers. That's the only thing.
That would be like literally all the episodes. It's everything that we talk about is a blooper. I like to think everything we say is a blooper. We just don't realize it.
Oh.
Oh, but this will be the year that we actually get our proper theme song instead of just tagging on to somebody else's music. I think this is the year we'll get a Saturday Morning 7 TV theme song proper.
I mean, I think people have witnessed our close harmony singing and can agree it's a thing of beauty.
It is. It's especially when we get the whole rhythm part right. Saturday morning, 7 TV. He is Carl and I am me. Saturday morning, 7 TV. Grab your cuppa and have a pee.
I want to pee in my cup.
Well, you can't get up and leave. You have to, just sort of cup it down and keep watching.
I think a Calypso version would be quite good. Jump in the line kind of version.
Oh yeah.
Jumping in.
I'll try and get some like bin lids or something so I can do the whole kind of
something with maracas. Everything's improved with maracas.
Or maybe every week we should try and do a different genre of music. Have some like 80s synth and stuff like that there.
We're getting very Whose Line Is It Anyway now, aren't we? We've gone right into.
Yeah. If anyone can pull it off, it's us. Probably once or twice a week. Right, everyone just leave. I'm gonna like roll credits or something. So thanks for watching. Just everyone go away. Oh, I don't even know where the credits are.